Hello from day 5. Check this out. I burned 3.2.1 ROMs to test a couple things because the owner's original 1.4.5s are toast. I also fixed the floppy. So there we go. We have the RGB on the 1084S, and this is the RGB mode of the Flicker Fixer Amber, which works but doesn't. If I flip this down, it goes to a red screen. So on the Flicker Fixer, red, there are these 3 Oki data memory chips. They are called 4-bit field memory. And those bad boys, if you can even find them working, are $11 to $20 a pop. And I don't have any of them. Red, green, blue. Can you guess what color is working? I'm having some yellow shift, which is a good thing. I'm going to hook up the oscilloscope to it. You can do some probing. I'll show you how to diagnose the Flicker Fixer, aka the Amber system. There's a couple jumpers where you hook an oscilloscope to, and you have to set it to a 14 point some change megahertz, and it doubles it to some science, and that's it. But that's not what I'm up to. I had to replace the original oscillator crystal 28.63636 megahertz because they're not supposed to make a jingle noise. They are a piece of crystal that wobbles at a certain frequency. Here in America, where Jesus lives, it's 28.63636 megahertz. This is a NTSC Amiga. I did also put a little heatsink on the CPU because it got warm, and I don't like heat on these things. Resistor packs and stuff, they get warm. That's fine. We're going to boot Workbench 3.2. What's going to happen is this thing's going to yellow light as soon as it detects setpatch. I don't know why. That's usually CPU. Yellow. I thought it was a daughter card. Thought it was the crystal. So I got a new crystal in it. The GoTech starts to load. You can barely see it over here blinking away. That'll just stay. Don't worry about the red. It's just the amber freaking out. As soon as I get to a pseudo desktop where it would load, poof, the machine locks up, reboots, and yellow lights. That was the reset you saw. And then that's it. That's it. Boop, crash, we'll guru, and then we will yellow light. I'm going to flip the amber off so I can get another display here. If it even gurus, a lot of times, okay, so there we go, 8000-003, doesn't matter, I don't know, and then we're back. So, here is something unique. Okay, sysinfo, right? It'll do the same thing. As soon as setpatch executes, setpatch is executing, it's it. Move my mouse, and done. It'll wait. It'll guru, it'll yellow screen. So we're not going to run setpatch. We're going to hit delete, initialize. We're not running setpatch quiet. Nope. And we're going to run sysinfo. So you can see here it works fine. There are no caches on except iCache, Dcache, iBurst, dburst off. If I hit any of these, it locks up. I can do speed, 16 megahertz, 68030, 6881. Just like always, it's been fine. This display is rock solid now that I got Denise right on the board. Now, might be a little moire effect because the scrolling of the hertz, I have the camera set for the cycle of this monitor, so it shouldn't display. This one is blurry but clear. This is in the RGB port. This is in the VGA Flicker Fixer in off mode, 15 kilohertz Dell. If I click iCache, nothing. Oh, on. Okay. Dcache, on. iBurst, lock. And that's it. Yay, what fun this is. Alright, I'm going to go over a couple things with you. So, you see this goofiness. Now I'm going to go over something. I'm going to read you something here. So, the amber chip here, aka the scan doubler, right? That's what gives your Amiga, the Amiga 3000, the ability to use a 31 kilohertz connector to a non-RGB monitor, like the Dell here. So right now I have very little screwed up output, right? I have output if I turn it into the 15 kilohertz, but down like it currently is in the 31 kilohertz. It's working but not working, right? So the frequencies of this scan doubler are generated by this little tiny chip. It's called a phase loop chip. It's an NE564N, okay? That is hot. Okay, so it's supposed to generate a signal that's 14 megahertz, okay? 14 megahertz with a 28 megahertz clock synced to the video color clock. So the color clock is out of pin 6 of U481. We're looking for, we have the jitter, we have something on the screen, so I know I have VCC at that pin, right? VC1 clock is present at pin 6. So VC470 here is this little variable trim capacitor. It's a little piece of plastic screw. It's way down low, right? I'll zoom on in here, just give you, this is just for teaching you, okay? So this chip right here, that is the phase lock, okay? That's NE564. This is how you can adjust your amber chip to make sure, besides just playing with this screw until you get a good display, you have to have it at like 14 and some change megahertz. Now, I got this information not from the old brain bucket, from the old Google webs. That's where I'm getting at. So, alright, so first step is make sure VC470 moves. It does, because I've already goofed it. I put deoxit D5 down it, gave it a little tickle, cleaned it with vinegar, cleaned it with IPA, blah blah blah. So I've hooked up the oscilloscope to pins 2 and 3 of J483. So both clocks are simultaneously adjusted with VC470. That's this. So that's right here. You can see I am way out of frequency. It's jumping around like mad. Okay? I'm jumping from 10 to 14 to 13 to 12 volts, 200 millivolts, 1.8. It's just, it's crazy. So let's do the first one, the best I can get out of a sine wave here. Okay? So this is what I'm trying to get my frequency down to. Once I do, the picture will come on. Right now I'm at 25. This freaking variable capacitors, iffy at best. That is an open, so that needs to be a closed loop. There we go. And 14.34 and not the best. But, you know, take what we can get. Man, I'm tired. 28 megahertz on pin 6. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 27.97. That is close enough to 28 where I don't care about 0.3 hundredths of a hertz. Red, let's see. Red, where you at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on red, which is working. 15.7 to 32. Red's fine, look at that. 15.74 kilohertz and rolling. 28.3755 it should be. I'm at 28.0399. So I'm going to chalk that up as the potential problem with that. Now I have to figure out what the hell is going on with the stupid CPU bus. FPU off, I got a CPU error. Doesn't freaking work at all. Now we're getting green and yellow boot. Look at that. Oh, nice. Plus, no, I got that disk drive all fixed. Look at that. Disk drive, old rusty crusty drive, has been fixed. All looby doobied up. Hot tank the whole thing in an ultrasonic cleaner. So there you go. Test passed. Let's do head calibration. 11 of 11 is perfect. There we go. Check them apples out. Little orange light is a rolling. I'm taking a breather. Mental capacity drained. Fried chicken needed. 10:17 a.m. Day 5. 75 degrees Fahrenheit out. Hot water. 7 bottles of hydrogen peroxide. Amiga 3000 front lip in, sitting on my black table, help it keep hot. Yeah. So I'm gonna let this sit all day. It's supposed to be sunny. Gotta come out here every once in a while and bang it, get the bubbles off, and then she should come back to life. It was really yellow. Hopefully it'll come back, and we'll see. I'm actually gonna turn it more. Get in there. So they keep floating. You gotta kind of make sure you got it submerged. Yep, needs to be a pain in the butt. You stay. We'll check back on it in about 8 hours. Hey, so it's still day whatever, I don't know, 5, 6. I retrobrighted the case front with peroxide and 8 hours of the old Pennsylvania Sunshine. Had a good day. So that turned out okay. I also sanded and painted the back drive cover. I also have a couple more things to paint, but I did tape off the special tape. There's tape on the 3000. It's the drive, floppy drive power supply crate where the hard drive mechanisms and the 2 floppies would sit. Power supply sits right here. This was all totally rusted too, so now it has been painted with aluminum paint, and what I'm talking about is that special tape is the anti-rub tape for the cables. See that yellow line here? Let me just peel it off here. So it looks like it did probably better than it did brand new. It might seem glossy, but it's actually a matte aluminum paint, which is, I mean, this is steel, but you know, hey, inside of this conglomerate, I still have the inside to do here, so that will be painted also, and I will be putting felt feet on the bottom, and we'll also take care of this. Now the rust extended through the sticker here, so I sanded off best I can. I'll mask off all the original stickers and labels, and we'll get that squirted. That way that will be back to square one. What's going on with this? I'm still waiting for parts, so I've just left it sit. I have 2 other Amiga 3000s to repair now. Yay. One just came in today. Another one is on the way tomorrow from all the way over in Saskatchewan, Canada. Don't know really too much about them. I'll have to double check on the emails. I've been doing a lot of repairs lately, and yeah. So that's an update for now. This is actually working, minus the weird scenario where once setpatch is loaded on anything, she's just done. So I'm going to have to do some more research on that to figure out what could be the cause. Hello from day 7, Amiga 3000, Rusty, booting workbench. What's the deal? Before, I was having all sorts of these crazy problems where anything with setpatch would not load. I could load the original workbench ROMs, my ROMs, because the owner's ROMs are toast. The 1.4 whatever 5s, the super kickstarts. I could load workbench 1.3 no problem. I could load workbench 2.04 no problem. As soon as I went to 2.1 or greater, fa-boom, thing was toast. What happened? These little bastards here are called Zip 20 RAM. They're little tiny 20-pin zip RAM chips that go here up to 16 megabytes in the Amiga 3000. There are 2 types: SC, the static column, or non-page. What happens? I don't know. Just put them in there, because I pulled them all out to clean and just put them back in, and I'm blind. Didn't read the numbers, just looked for the dot, plopped them all in there. You need to have the SC RAM first, not the page RAM, in the first slots. Now on the Amiga 3000, it's a little weird because you have all these slots. They're broken down into sections of 4. So you have A, B, C, D, and then A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, and then finally A, B, C, D. You have to put them in slot 1, slot 1, slot 1, slot 1. You can't just put them in the first 4 slots. They're sectioned out. So the first slot of each section on both sides. Problem is, I just mix matched these bastards in there, and they screwed me. Now the RAM all tested good. The Amiga will not initialize the CPU burst control which is all the caches, D-burst, I-burst. Hence, whenever I hit that thing and it would lock up, drove me bonkers. I found an old article from 2012 when someone else had a similar problem. I thought many things. I had all these chips that I ordered, thinking buffer lines and hex inverters and all sorts of stuff. There are still issues with the flicker fixer here on the two other primary RAM colors I'm trying to sort out, but workbench loads, mouse moves, everything is gold. What do? Just pull the RAM out. Now I have to figure out which RAM is which and put it back in the correct order. Then we're going to get into SCSI to SD or a SCSI hard drive. I don't know what I'm doing for the user yet. I have both options. I'll probably email them and see what they want to do to resurrect this booger from the bottom of the sea. That seems to be my theme lately, the bottom of the sea. My camera power cord fell out. Pardon. Nope, I did the wrong ones. Yay. So that's what happens when I put the wrong RAM in. Let me do that all over again. Okay, I got the memory back in the way it came. Looked at the original photos right there to figure that the 70s were in the front and the 80s were in the back. It has 8 megs of fast and 2 megs of chip. Blah, 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 blah. I'm testing all the RAM. I'm going to let it run for a little while. I think I'm taking a breather on Amiga repairs for a bit because I am backed up. I got 3 to go after this one. Yeah, that's video content. Great. I like sharing the help and I love helping people, but I don't like getting too far behind. I don't want to keep your stuff forever. I want to get it back to you as soon as possible. Sometimes I don't mind waiting for parts, but when I got several backed up on the bench, boy, wonder how Retro Rewind feels. They got like 30 to do or more. I'm not done yet. I'm waiting on a couple of the video chips to come in. 74HC04 hex inverter. $8 for that freaking sucker. So I got some of those. I want to toss one of those in there. See if that's the driver for the RAM chips. That thing was green as the swamp. Amiga 3000 boot SCSI device attempt. 588. Let's see what happens. It should show up here and not here. Or not at all. That's why you say use, ladies and gentlemen. Amiga 3000 SCSI boot disk attempt 588. Hey guys, it's Chris, and we're back working on the 3000 from hell. Last I left off, it was a couple weeks ago, and I got the board booting, figured out the RAM issue for the static page, column, whatever, and I ordered some more stuff off of eBay. I needed the hex inverters, 7407 hex inverters, pack of 12, $8. LS 174 ends, NE564 polarization, polarity, amber shoots the information to all the RAM color Oki datas, which I found those Oki data chips in Bulgaria for a whopping $12.99 US each. So I ordered 3 of them. They should be here hopefully in a month. I don't know. PayPal buyer protection. Hoping on that one comes through because, woo! The noise you're hearing on the side is a 3D print job. I'm doing a color cube calibration for some Jesse PLA Amiga 500 color because I'm going to print the thingies, the little S brackets that go in here. I'm going to print a couple of them because the factory ones were snapped when it was shipped with loose packaging. So we're also going to be printing a floppy drive cover for the front fascia, the normal kind that snaps in right here because it only has a DFO 0. It's Easter today, Easter Sunday, so what better way to celebrate the Lord than working on Amigas? So off camera I'm going to solder in the NES 564N, the polarized dude, see if that brings amber back to life. If so, that's freaking awesome. I also have the 7407 LS, which was one of the chips damaged in the battery barf. I'll be replacing that also. There we go. Alright, so you can tell by this chip that I cut out here, you can see how gross the pins were, and my finger is from the dookie on it. She was all ate up, and that corresponded into eating out the traces along here. This one to this point right here is dead because if you beep trace it, go here and you go here, you get nothing. Alright, new 174 in U195. Did a couple drag solders to the vias that were busted. Scratched a little bit away on the trace. Drug her over. Now she beeps. It's 4:53 p.m. on Easter Sunday. 5:16 p.m. New NE 564. New U195 74 LS 174N. And then I have one more 74 HC04N that is effed up, which is right around the RAM. Did you know that they remask chips in China? Guess what? That NE564? That's not an NE564. Amber disable or enable is not working, so that is not an NE564. That is called China Fake Bastards. So now I have to wait weeks more on this person's board, which would have been done just like that had the RAM checked out. But at least having an Amber that worked in disabled mode for VGA, that would have been perfect. So now I have to go on eBay, look for an American seller with some used chips. 6 o'clock. I put a socket in the NE564. I'll check back when I get some chips, hopefully, and hopefully they're real.